What's going on? What's going on? Hey, it's your boy Skills. Hey. Alright, now, I'm pretty sure y'all wondering about this t-shirt, huh? Alright. So, it's Gambino Ford, alright? And this was actually, I'm not playing, alright? It's not Soprano or anything, but it was a real Ford dealership that went out of business in New Jersey, alright? Yeah, so the thing is, like, they had a motto, and they were like, you looking for a better deal than what we can do? Forget about it. Alright, so let me go ahead and stop. But yeah, this is like one of my favorite shirts, and it's like, it's funny because sometimes I'll be walking around someplace and like I'm near an automotive and people like asking me for quotes, and I'm like, well, ma'am, you're gonna need to get that negative power coupling looked at, so I can go ahead and just tell you it's probably going to be like about $250, $300, all right? So, and you probably also need to get your spark plugs looked at as well. So, all right. Well, anyway, in this edition of, in my best Obama voice, let me be clear, all right? What I want to talk about is The Last Guardian, okay? Now, I don't know how many of y'all know about The Last Guardian. It is a game Sony has had in development for the PS3 for a hot minute. It's essentially like it's an RPG. Looks really cool, but it's been delayed. Alright, and whenever there's a video game and there are multiple delays, first of all, that's not a good sign. Then last week, Gamestop started calling people that had pre-ordered the game and had an automated, robocall message, and the message pretty much said, hey, this game has been canceled, blah, blah, blah. So all of a sudden, the Twitterverse just like went, they just started jizzing. They were like, boo, whoa, what's going on? And people like screaming, no, like it was, out of Star Wars, like, when Obi-Wan Kenobi said, no! So they were doing all this garbage. And then all of a sudden, Sony came out and they, in an IGN article and said, no, the game is not canceled. So, and then all of a sudden, GameStop released a statement saying that there was a message, like it was a mistake on our part, clerical error, something like that. Okay. And then everyone, and there was calm. There wasn't a great disturbance in the force. Alright, so check this out, alright? Let me just apply my vast, nearly 16 years of journalism experience on this particular situation concerning The Last Guardian. Alright, there's a phrase that says, where there's smoke, there's fire. Most times, whenever something like that hits, a huge announcement, crowd goes nuts, what they'll do is the company denies it. They'll back off of it. But then months later, there's a similar announcement, and the reaction is not as big. The company's like, hey, yeah, that works. All right. Excuse me. Happens all the time, especially with celebrities. What they do is their PR people will send out like a feeler, and what that is a feeler. They'll see, okay, we're gonna release this information out there. Let's see what kind of reaction it gets. If the reaction is somewhat muted, they're cool with that. If it's in an uproar, they'll deny it, retract it, say, hey, like that was an error on our part, just to gauge what kind of reaction the audience, the crowd, like I said, the people that they're trying to reach, potential customers, what they're going to have. Like I said, companies do it all the time. For instance, a really good, excellent example of that was John Edwards. A politician, he was actually running for president back in 2008. He was on the ticket with John Kerry in 2004 for the President of the United States, campaign on a Democrat ticket. The thing is, when one of his assistants got pregnant, and then they had the child. National Enquirer ran the story. There was a huge uproar. John Edwards denied it, said no, it didn't happen, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Then months later, the news came up that yes, indeed, guess what? Yes, you are the father, and I mean, it wasn't Maury Povich or anything like that. I mean, but the thing is, I'm applying that to this situation. And it's classic, bait and switch, seriously. The thing is, alright, and this is just, mad skills perspective on this, alright. Sony, looking at the bottom line, they felt like, hey, you know what? This is not going to work. This game, it has a lot of potential. Maybe we can sell it to someone, but right now, we do not, we lack the resources to be able to finish this game properly, the way it needs to be marketed. It's just too much of an investment we're not willing to invest in. So, what they did was they contacted all the major retailers. Said, hey, you know what? This game is canceled. Please, quietly refund the pre-orders. Matter of fact, you can wait a little while till we make an official announcement. Gamestop got the message. Best Buy more than likely got the message. And other, game crazy outlets, other retailers got the message. The message said, it's time sensitive, please do not announce this. Well, it's the holidays, you have people working other people's jobs that, sometimes, there's a lack of communication. So, more than likely someone at GameStop, someone filling in for an exec or for the PR people, saw this message or saw a message that his game was canceled. Went ahead, ran it through the proper channels. So GameStop inadvertently contacted all these people. People went to Twitterverse. And they, social media put it on blast. Sony was pissed off because Sony, just like any other company, they want to control the message. A public relations firm's job is to control the message. Whenever the message gets so big that the public relations firm cannot control it, that public relations firm will no longer be representing said firm. So, Sony was like, whoa, the reason they want to control the message is more than likely these people are still have a studio, still have people collecting checks that are working on the game. So, since they're working on the game, and all of a sudden the news goes out, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? I mean, hey, I'm looking at my iPhone, all of a sudden, what? This game's canceled. I'm working on some shading right now. What's going on? So you can see where everything would just totally just go, just straight snafu. So, but the thing is, Sony wanted to control the message. GameStop made this announcement. So what do? Deny, deny, deny. That's always a really, really good public relations. Look at BP, look at Enron, U.S. government, deny, 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 lie, okay? And they wanted to announce it on their own terms. So Sony had to backtrack. And they said, no, the game's still on. And then Sony probably went back to GameStop and said, if you don't want us to pull like major upcoming titles or exclusive content for you, y'all need to correct this. So then GameStop screams uncle, and they released that statement, which as a journal, I'm like, that's even more red flags. Okay? You're talking about a major corporation that's saying, oh, it was this error of some type. You heard it here. Okay? You heard it here. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but let's just look at a few things, right? Deny, deny, deny. Alright? GameStop, retailer, they got word from somewhere. They didn't just dream this up and say, oh, let's make this type of announcement. Some of their dates, yeah, they get them wrong. They get them, they get the dates, release dates from the publishers. But GameStop's making loot. They're not about to sit there and, let an error like this just continue to fester. No, they're going to nip it in the bud. They wouldn't have even made the call to start off with unless they got word. So, there are a couple scenarios. First of all, it could be go digital download only. That's possible, but with a game this vast, downloading 40, 50, gigabytes over broadband connection, yeah, I believe that. Okay? And the thing is, so, the other thing to look at is, the game is canceled. And right now, Sony, put out the feelers just to see what kind of reaction they would get. They would gauge and say, okay, let's see if the reaction is strong enough to get us to reverse course and go ahead and release the game. And then, of course, the last one, publicity stunt, which is possible, but it further tarnishes the credibility of Sony, definitely tarnishes GameStop, and I do not think that corporations of that size would be, so foolish, especially around the holidays, just to get sales. So, it's either one or two. And when you remove the impossibles of a problem, things that definitely aren't possible, and you look at what's possible and what's left, then the most likely scenario is the game will never see the light of day. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Absolutely. But, like I said earlier, remember this. If you don't remember anything else from this, if you think I'm a crackpot, that's fine and everything, but here's the thing. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire. So if there's an announcement of some type, trust me, you stay tuned to that story. Wait a few months, and then the truth is going to come to the surface. A lot of people, a lot of bloggers were like, oh yeah, okay, well, the game's not canceled, it was an error, fine. But see, here's the problem. Those people, they didn't go to J school. Alright? Anyone could call themselves a journalist. And don't understand how to make a story, to understand the who, what, when, where, why. Who? Sony and GameStop. What? Last Guardian. Where? Not sure. Why? It's a tough economic market. Sony didn't think they could make the money. So, the game is released sweet. I'll bet, I'll ask Sony to send me a review copy, early review copy. I'll unbox it. Y'all be like, oh man, that's sick. But, honestly, I believe where there's smoke, there's fire. And that game will not see the light of day. You can quote me on that. M4d Ski11z, aka WJ. Alright, so that's it on Let Me Be Clear. Give me some feedback. Like I said, tell your friends, tell your peeps. Get the Sony Defense Force mobilized. Let them know as well so they can come in and start trolling. But that's it. I mean, seriously, it's all about the bottom line. Even like with the Let Me Be Clear I did on the DS, the handhelds. All of it, y'all, is about the bottom line. It's not about what I want. It's not about what you want. Seriously, no. Only way it's going to be about what you want is if you're an executive with one of said companies. Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo. They're looking at, hey, what's going to make us the most amount of money with the least amount of expenditure? That's how any good business operates. It'd be nice to have a business like Trader Joe's who focuses on the consumer, but no to the sir. Alright, so it's your boy Skills. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Tell your moms, tell your peeps, tell everybody, tell Mama Dukes for sure, And look, y'all have yourself a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Remember Jesus the reason for the season. If you don't believe in him, accept homeboy. Alright, y'all take it easy. Nothing but love for y'all. 1.